All right, here we go, everybody. I want to make one of these tier list videos. Well, I want to make a lot of them for you guys to kind of talk about what I think are the best exercises for a specific body group, and that way, maybe it can help a lot of you guys in your training. I do want to quickly just talk about like the way I train and my kind of beliefs around training. I try to hit all facets of training, meaning like, yeah, I train for size, but I also train for strength. I also train for mobility. I also train for power, for athletic performance, right? I kind of, people try to act like you can't wear the same hats when you're training, and I don't really believe that. I think you can. I just think it's specifically about how you train. So some of the things I might say in this video you may not agree with, but just understand like this is for how I like to train and for what I believe is the best way of training. And as I kind of explain my rankings of these exercises, I think you guys will get a better idea of the way I train and why I train the way I train. And as far as this panel of exercises here goes, pretty much everything that I would do in the gym is here except for one. But I'll go over that. Actually, I'll just go over it right now. This would be an S tier workout, and they just didn't have it on this tier maker. So it's a trap 3 raise. For you guys that don't know what it is, it kind of looks like this, or maybe this is a better picture of it. Basically, you'll get yourself on a bench or a hyperextension machine like this guy is doing, right? And then with your thumbs pointed to the ceiling, you're just raising your arms up overhead, trying to get full extension. I like to say get the elbows behind the ears if you can. That's how you know you have proper mobility in the thoracic spine and the shoulders. And it's an S tier one for me, guys. Like fantastic way of building scapular strength, but it's also building a lot of the more deeper found muscles more along your spinal column there, the trap 3 way. It's also a great way of building your lower traps, which is a really hard exercise to hit with most of these other back workouts. So that's an S tier one. It's not on the list, but just try to remember that one. And now let's get started here. So all right, first one we got hyperextension, another S tier workout, guys. Okay, because like I said, I like to train for athletic performance, strength, power, everything, and that's what you get through hyperextensions. The reason why I love this workout is because it allows your spine to go into full flexion, meaning you go all the way to the bottom when you're leaning over, right? And then you get to power yourself up. And what that allows is spinal flexion and spinal extension at the same time. It's super healthy for the spine as long as you slowly progress it, right? Meaning starting with just body weight at first, mastering your body weight. I like to get to like 10 to 15 reps easily body weight before I start adding weight in, and then as you add weight, you slowly progress that, right? Progressive overload. But it's a fantastic way of building lower back strength, which is great for power, which is great for mobility. A strong low back allows you to be an explosive athlete. So hyperextension, S tier. All right, let's see what we got here next. TBar rows. Okay, TBar rows, I'm gonna put them at B tier. And the way this guy's holding it, I prefer a little bit of a wider grip when I do my TBar rows. But the reason why I would put them at B tier is because it's a pretty safe movement, and you can load a good amount of weight on the bar as you're doing it. The only limit I really have with T-bar rows is that you can't, basically, like as you can see with this guy here, right? When you put 45-pound plates on like that, you're really stopping yourself from getting full range of motion, meaning pulling that weight all the way through and getting your elbows back behind you, which will limit your range of motion, right? It's good for hypertrophy, right? If you're just trying to add muscle, it's a good exercise for that because, like I said, you can load it up with weight pretty safely and get a good pump. But as far as strength and athletic performance, there's betters out there. Okay, so next, barbell rows. I'm going to put those at B as well. A lot of the same reason. The only thing I don't really like about barbell rows is people think they can load a lot of weight on, and what happens is they actually can't handle the weight that they're putting on the bar, and they don't know it, but they're throwing all that pressure on their lumbar spine, their lower back essentially, and that leads to a lot of problems down the road. People use a lot of momentum when they have too much weight on there, and you're asking for a herniated disc basically. So I like the exercise, but you gotta leave your ego at the door when doing it. And yeah, so B tier for that one. Next one we got here, seated machine rows. Seated machine rows. I'm actually gonna put those at A tier, guys, because as you can see in this picture, he can get his elbows all the way back. Kind of what I was talking about with like the TBar rows, how you can't get that full extension. With the seated machine row, you can get that full extension. And the thing I don't like about them is there's all slack at the bottom, right? At the eccentric phase, it's pretty much all slack once you get to the bottom there. But if you control that, that would be really good. And you get full extension here, so you can load it up safely too, right? There's not a lot of pressure on the spine as there was with the barbell row. So seated machine rows, fantastic back exercise. Next we got, is that my boy Kali Muscle? Next we got pull-ups. You already know that's going to be S tier. I mean, what do I have to say about pull-ups that you guys probably haven't heard before? Fantastic for strength, fantastic for athleticism, fantastic for building muscle. Guys, if you're not doing pull-ups, do them. I don't know what else to say besides that. Find a way to do them. I know they can be difficult at first, but it's just like all things in life. You just got to do it, and you'll get better at them. Fantastic for joint health, everything, guys. Spinal decompression. If you're doing back exercises and you don't do pull-ups, I don't know what to tell you. All right, next we got deadlifts. It's a back exercise. Deadlifts really trains every part of the body. I kind of look at it more as a leg exercise. Judging it as a back exercise, it is A tier, S tier, but again, I look at it more of a leg exercise, so I'm just going to put it in because I don't really consider it a back exercise. When I make a leg version of this, you'll get my full view on deadlifts there. Next, single arm dumbbell rows. I'm going to put those in A tier. My mouse. I'm going to put those in A tier, just above barbell rows, for again the reason that you can get that elbow all the way back. And guys, when you're doing exercise like this, any kind of pulling motion, try to pretend you're elbowing your enemy in the face, right? That's how you want to drive your elbow back, far behind your body, as far as you can go. That's going to cause some rotation in the back as you do that, but that's fine. The back is meant to rotate, right? It's not just supposed to move in one plane of motion. So I love single arm dumbbell rows. Fantastic exercise. Just be careful again with loading too much on there and putting too much pressure on your lumbar spine. All right, dumbbell pullovers. S tier, guys. Another fantastic. Come on, I gotta stop doing that. Another fantastic exercise. So good for posture correction, which nowadays with everybody, we're sitting down so much, we're leaning over. I'm leaning over while recording this, so I'm right there with you guys. But we sit so much, and it causes so much of that forward posture, so much spinal flexion, especially in the cervical and thoracic spine. This is a fantastic way to reverse those effects, guys. You can load it safely, and it's great for shoulder mobility and shoulder health as well. Fantastic exercise. More towards the athletic side of things. You can add size with it, but if I was making a strict hypertrophy program, I probably wouldn't put it on there, but a really good exercise. Seated rows. They're so similar to the seated machine row. I guess it's more of what I would prefer to do. Let me think. Seated row. I'm going to put that one just in A tier as well. And then basically everything I said about seated machine rows, guys, goes for the same thing with the regular seated row. I guess it's just more of personal preference for you, what you're more comfortable with. But yeah, it's a good exercise. Lat pull downs. Do pull-ups when you can. Okay, but obviously pull-ups can be difficult to do them for high reps, so I'll put lat pull downs in B tier just because again there's a better option, and that's pull-ups. But yeah, lat pull downs are good. You get a good squeeze there. It can teach you good form as well, and you can load it safely, right? Because there's no risk really in doing a lat pull down unless you're pulling down like a maniac. But as long as you're controlling the weight, then you can do it safely. So it's a good exercise, but do pull-ups when you can. Sled push, again, that's a leg exercise to me, so that's going in This looks like chest supported rows. I really like these. These are kind of similar to that trap three-way I was showing earlier, just in terms of the support. And you can get those, when you do them with dumbbells, you get that full extension. So that's going to be an A tier back exercise for me. Super yoke. The heck is that? I didn't even read that one. Sorry, guys. Let me try to see real quick. What the heck is this? Actually, I guess if I don't know it, I should just be like, I don't know it, and that's what. Okay, this guy looks like he's carrying the entire. Yeah, I'm gonna say D. I don't know what's going on there. Yoga. Yoga is fantastic. Obviously, I said I like to train for mobility, for strength, for length, for power. So yoga is fantastic. I don't really know how to rank it in terms of this because I don't know. It's such a black sheep in everything else we're doing here. So I'm just gonna put it in because, well, no, I mean yoga's do yoga S tier. Sumo deadlifts. Again, leg workout, in my opinion. Straight arm pull downs. Straight arm pull downs are going to be a C for me. They're cool. There's something good to throw in, I would say, at the end of your workout just to get some burnouts. But you miss out on so much range when doing these. They're just cool. Suspension rows, I really like these, especially if you guys struggle with pull-ups. This is a great way to build some scapular strength. So I really like suspension rows, and you can increase your angle, or I should say decrease your angle to the ground, and that'll make them harder and harder. So we're gonna go A tier with that. Dumbbell shrugs, fantastic. Girls love them big traps, so you got to do your shrugs, and I like the dumbbell version better, and I'll explain why when I get to this barbell shrug over here. Man maker rows, I never heard them called that, but I call them plank rows. A really good exercise, really good for core stability. Really good for building up, again, scapular stability. You get some rotation at the top of the movement. Great for building athleticism. Another one I would say add to your program. Pilates swimming. That is going to be... that's going to be D. Pilates swimming. We're not doing that. Supermans, though, I really like. Supermans, amazing. I've been doing them my whole life. Back when I was a little kid in sports, this is one of those, they would have you do push-ups, burpees, and Supermans. It's fantastic for building up back strength. We focus so much on our core, but there's another side to the core, and it's that lower back. Fantastic, fantastic exercise. Shrugs, I told you I was going to talk about why I prefer dumbbell shrugs over barbell shrugs, and that's because it when you have it to your sides, hands basically on the sides rather than in front of you, it's just a better angle for the shoulder. You can get a better squeeze at the top of the rep, but either way, you should do shrugs, whatever you prefer, but personally I think dumbbell is a lot better than barbell. Plane pulls, what the heck, and muscle ups. Muscle ups. Oh, is that my boy Kali Muscle back again? Muscle ups, guys. It's almost like a party trick exercise. You know what I mean? If you can do them, cool. And, you should do them to flex. But, I don't know. No, they're good, but I would focus just more on, adding weight to my pull-ups and doing weighted pull-ups rather than doing a muscle up. But it's a cool party trick. If there's a baddie in the gym and you want to impress her and you can do a muscle up, go for it. But it's not that useful in terms of training. So that's my tier list right there. Take a look at it. It looks beautiful. Whatever body part you guys want to see me do next, or if you want to see me do something else fitness related, like food or anything, let me know. This was actually pretty fun making this, so I'll be happy to do more. And also let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. And yeah, besides that, train hard, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.